Meghan Markle, meet the truth. Truth, meet Meghan Markle. I don't think you know each other. In fact, I fear that you're complete strangers. Yep, the devious Duchess is at it again, playing the victim card, lashing out at all those horrible lies that all those nasty people tell about her. By that, she means anything that anyone says about her that she doesn't like. Is Her Montecito Majesty really maintaining that the Hollywood Reporter's investigation into her alleged brutal bullying of staff was all lies? Does the self-styled Queen of California actually expect us to accept that Vanity Fair's exhaustive 8,000-word article chronicling the appalling way she reportedly treated her long-suffering employees was all lies? Yes, incredibly, it seems that she does. On the latest of Manic Meg's dizzying number of podcast appearances, British-born brand boss Emma Grede inquired, if you could rewrite your public narrative from scratch, is there anything that you would do differently? Pushing the boundaries of plausibility to an epic extent, her ladyship replied, yes, I would ask people to tell the truth. It appears she's referring to the tales of bullying at the palace during her brief tenure as a working royal in the UK. Her awful antics were reported in an email to the late Queen, who ordered a full, external, independent legal probe, the results of which have never been published, but may well be if Meghan doesn't let it drop. Why can't she, for God's sake? What's wrong with her? The implication is clear. All the bad publicity the notoriously difficult Duchess gets, that ongoing avalanche of negative press, it's purely because the haters make up vile and hurtful fibs about her. Yeah, right. Talking of podcasts, Ms. Markle also told Emma that she's resting Confessions of a Female Founder. Resting? Resting as in rest in peace, after rock-bottom viewing figures and hurtling out of the top 100 charts faster than a bat out of hell, I'd hazard an educated guess that Meghan's toweringly tedious interviews with entrepreneur women have been consigned to the scrap heap of showbiz history. Not temporarily, forever. Just like her first podcast disaster, Archetypes, a profoundly boring 12-part insomnia cure that declared all-out war on entertainment. Meanwhile, as ever, no one knows what on earth is going on with her laughable lifestyle site as ever. Is her Scam Jam online store in business? Is it on hold? Or is it dead in the water? 1 minute she says it won't be back until next year, then she announces she's got a new range of Chateau Meg rosé wine coming out. Then stand by for a chain of Meg Inn hotels, not forgetting her Meg Tuck-In restaurants. Then silence, no activity, followed by a teasing Instagram post promising exciting new developments soon. Yeah, right. Now this weird woman of little substance crops up on yet another podcast, making next to no sense whatsoever. Honestly, I give up. But back to the truth, something Meghan presumes she can manipulate to her own ends. Her truth, as opposed to the truth. So, after those devastating takedowns in The Hollywood Reporter and Vanity Fair, what does this C-list actress do? She fires her publicity team. 6 battle-weary minions who, in Meghan's mind, failed to convince the world of the wonderfulness of their stunningly perfect boss. As if all that horrible stuff those pesky reporters wrote about her was purely the fault of her public relations department. Yeah, right. That hapless husband of hers, old Ginger Nuts, what's his name? Oh, that's right, Harry, is also said to be far from happy with the poor press he's been getting too. As if, when he sits there on the BBC like a petulant child, spitting venom and spewing ludicrous conspiracy theories, journalists are going to go, isn't Harry great? Let's be very positive about him. Both of this preposterous pair of posers, her still on her imagined social mountaineering climb, him falling frighteningly far from the position of respect he once commanded, have behaved abysmally since their snivelling retreat from British royal duties. Their car crash lies to opera, their Netflix show all about the racist king, his racist family and the slave-driving British nation, Harry's spiteful book Spare, the pompous prince's stupid legal battle to get police gun guards when he's in the UK, hypocritically flying by private jet while preaching about climate change, and so much more. All that and the self-harming gruesome twosome actually believe that the growing crisis of their toxic image and plummeting popularity can be solved by an office shake-up. Yeah, right. Yeah, they're in trouble, aren't they, Samara?
Big time. And actually, it was this podcast that revealed that to me more than probably anything else Meghan's done. It was so interesting to see her interviewed by this East Londoner British woman. And if you're not from East London, that's kind of, it's like a rough and tough area. This woman, Emma Greed, who interviewed her, is really brought
Greed is good.
Well, she's actually brought herself up from abject poverty, and
she used to be on Dragon's Den here. She can talk.
Yeah, she can talk, and she's made a life.
She's a businesswoman. She's a success.
She's made billions for herself, and it was such a juxtaposition. And it was so funny because she doesn't have that same reverence for the royal family that all the American Gwyneth Paltrows and Jamie Lee Curran does. She actually grilled Meghan on her business acumen, and she was just fumbling and tumbling that whole time. It was a train wreck, that interview.
It really was. Before we're going to play a little clip now, and then we'll go to Ash for his debut comments. But before we do, I'll do my Jamie Lee Curran impression.
Please no.
That's all she did on that podcast.
Yeah.
Sort of like increasingly nodded her head. Oh, yes, Meghan, you're so wonderful. Anyway, here is Meghan talking to Ms. Greed about how she started her business.
I had just been making a lot of jams and preserves at home and sharing them as holiday gifts with a lot of friends. And it was one morning, beginning of the new year, so many friends at the same time had texted saying, I don't know what it is, but your jams just make me so happy.
No.
I don't know what to say. Well, Ash, welcome to the show.
Thanks, man.
Your thoughts on that asinine, bovine nonsense?
Well, jam
how does jam make you happy?
I don't know, maybe, she's in LA, maybe they put something in it, you know what I mean? But I admire her for saying, she doesn't say jam
apparently
tomato.
not very much fruit.
No, apparently it's just fruit spread, yeah.
That's why it's scam jam, it's not real jam.
But, you got to admire, she's jam today, not jam tomorrow. But, that's all she... But what is next for her? She keeps getting lower and lower in this celebrity... I mean, I'd never heard of this podcaster, even though she's very... Where's she going next? And is the marriage going to... It seems like it's all coming to the end. I mean, Prince Harry is just going around people's houses, buzzing, going, will you be my friend? I mean, I think that's where it wasn't drugs or anything.
Well, they say he was practising to be a Deliveroo driver because that'll be his next job.
He'd be good at that, yeah.
But she also revealed that she plied the Netflix executive with that jam time after time until apparently the Netflix executive said to her, oh, Meghan, you should turn this into a business idea. It's like sort of get off my front doorstep, thank you.
I mean, have you ever heard worse claptrap than that? Jam make me happy. What on earth is she talking about? Meghan, you're 42, not 92. Only grannies get made happy by jam. That's probably...
I like the grannies.
That's probably ageist, but hey, I don't care. Here is Meghan talking about the success of her... the success of her business.
Is anything actually a failure, ultimately? Because you're going to learn from it no matter what happens. But no, I feel confident in what I've been dreaming up for so long. I feel confident in the partner that I have. And I feel really proud of the team that I have. So that's not an option.
Failure is not an option. I think success is not an option. You can't make a business out of selling scam jam for $14 a jar and cookie mix, which I made up, didn't I? I made the cookies. Yeah.
What was it like? Did it make you happy?
They were average. They didn't make us... Well,
didn't make you happy? You're happy?
No, they didn't. So, I mean... Well, this isn't a business, is it?
No, well, she can't. She's not a businesswoman, is she?
Yeah,
She's an actress.
that's it.
She's playing at a business. I remember we had a
That's it.
boss who was not even a boss. He was an actor. He was a child actor, and I once opened his desk, and there was nothing in it. It was literally a film set. So she's acting at being a business person.
That's a brilliant point by Ash.
Yeah, it is.
That everything, you're right.
Yes.
Everything she does is like an act. Here's me being a businesswoman. Here's me being a podcast host.
Yes.
Here's me presenting a program about making jam and honey and stuff. And she doesn't do any of it at all well. But as far as she's concerned, it's probably just a performance.
Totally. I mean, you can see that it's such a sanitized PR version of answers that she's given to Emma. And even in that failure section, Emma actually said, oh, come on, Meghan, my first business was a massive failure. You know, I didn't invest that properly and I didn't do this properly. And Meghan just goes, oh, nothing is a failure. It's like she used the word authentic 25 times in that interview, Meghan did, but there was nothing authentic about it.
Yeah, and you know why she says nothing is a failure? You know, because nothing is a failure, because then you learn from the experience. That's because everything in her life is turning into a failure. Everything is failing. So she's quantifying that by saying, well, even though it's essentially, she's saying, even though I've desperately failed, it's a success because I've learned from the experience. No, Meghan, you've just failed. Now, here she is alleging that, now this is a woman whose desperate search for money is painful to watch. She's alleging here that she's turned down lots of money. That'll be the day.
I have turned down a lot of opportunities that do not feel value aligned. No, it's very easy to say no matter the price, if you aren't going to be able to sleep well at night.
Yeah, a lot of opportunities, receptionist in office blocks. She was offered the chance to be a cinema usherette. Turned them all down, Ash.
Unbelievable, but I mean, like you said,
Shelf stacker. She said no.
She was good at that.
She said
though.
no.
But,
she turned down that opportunity.
It doesn't involve jam. She's not interested.
Well,
but
she's
I mean,
self-stacking the jam aisle.
But all the successful entrepreneurs, they always say, you know, you've got to fail to be a success. But she just keeps failing. So eventually, you know, she's got it. She probably just says, well, I'm really good at failing. So there's going to be a massive success at some point. But it's just getting worse. It's like the door's closing, isn't it? And like you said, they haven't got any money left and they want to hang out with the big wigs in Hollywood. What are they going to do next? What's going to happen?
Well, that's what we always say, isn't it, Samara? They are probably dwindling millionaires, but they're millionaires living a billionaire's lifestyle. Yeah. And her desperate search for cash is, as I say, is palpable. I mean, she is desperate for money. They need it, I think, now. I've always said, you know this, you can confirm this. I've been saying for months now, definitely weeks, that the story about these two going forward will be financial.
Well, it's really true. And what's very interesting about that is that she's always whining, saying, oh, I don't have any opportunity. I mean, in the same interview, she goes, I didn't really get any opportunities as a mixed race actress, blah, blah, blah. And then,
no one knew she was mixed race, did they?
20 minutes later, she talks about all the opportunities that she turns down. I mean, this is a business podcast. Do you think that's relatable to the average person bootstrapping their first company? Turn everything down. What's wrong with you, Meghan?
This is the thing about when she plays the race card. When she came to Britain and started going out with Harry, you know, subsequently they started saying, oh, everyone was against me because they're racists. And when she first started saying that, she said, I'm a racist. But we're all going, but you're white.
Yeah, and she self-identifies.
Like Gary Lineker, the older.
We know she's mixed race. We found out she's mixed race.
She made us find out.
But like a lot of mixed race people, she looks very, very white. A lot of mixed people look very, very black. You know, so when she goes, oh, I'm the victim of racism, when people set their eyes on Meghan for the first time, well, back in those days when they didn't know who she was, they had no idea she was a woman of colour.
Also, she's talking to another woman of colour who I'm pretty sure Emma Greed has faced much more adversity than her.
She didn't
like that.
She's
just tone deaf to a T. No, she didn't.
I mean, that Emma Greed said, sometimes I wake up and I'm feeling a bit ghetto. She was just saying, and Meghan didn't like that because obviously Meghan's never come from that world, and she didn't like that she could up and was properly.
I agree with you. You got the impression that Emma Greed, who is clearly a no-nonsense woman who knows what she's talking about, she was sitting there and she was very polite to her. She wanted her podcast to be entertaining.
Yeah.
But you could see Emma Green is going, who is this idiot?
Yeah.
She has no idea what she's
Because she made it
about.
for herself.
You know, we sense that she's got no business sense whatsoever. Emma Green, you could tell, absolutely knew that she had no business sense whatsoever. Anyway, she did only recently complete her most recent effort at a podcast series after Archetypes was such a disaster, her first series. She came out with this thing called Confessions of a Female Founder. As I said in my podcast, that plummeted out of the top 100 podcast charts faster than a bat out of hell. By the time it ended, only about 6 people were watching it or tuning into it. So it was an absolute disaster. But here is Meghan explaining why, at least temporarily, sadly, brace yourselves, folks, there won't be any more Confessions of a Female Founder.
This was a decision to say, okay, I'm going to stop this now because you were having like huge success. I mean, I was hearing about that podcast everywhere and you've decided I'm going to stop and focus on the business.
Have to.
Nice.
But equally, yes, I wrapped season 1 of my Netflix series. So it's still ongoing while also doing a podcast, while also building my business. And at a certain point, the only thing I want spread thin is my jam.
And your jam is very thin, I can testify to that. It's like a liquid, isn't it? It sort of moves around in the jar. I mean, she lives in an alternative universe. The planet Meghan is different to the planet the rest of us
She
live on.
wills everything, doesn't she?
Yeah.
It will happen if I will it, and it's not working for her.
Yeah, and he's talking about all the stuff she's doing. I was doing this, I was doing this. Everything she mentioned then, that she was so busy with, has been a complete flop, a complete dud.
I know, and we predicted it here on this show.
She venerates business or busyness for busyness' sake.
Yes.
It's no good just being busy. You've got to be successful. She's busy, but she fails.
I mean, it's a massive overcompensation. You know those people who go, oh, I'm doing this and this and this, and I'm just absolutely rammed with work at the moment. Oh my gosh, those are always the people that are not actually
so
that
right.
busy.
Like,
when they have to really go, no, I'm doing things, but I can't fit everything
A
in.
lot of podcast only takes as long as it takes to record it and getting down the off license or liquor store if you watch
She's
it.
talking utter claptrap.
Totally.
You're so right. People are going, what are you up to then? Busy.
Yeah.
Anytime somebody goes busy, it means they're not. They've got nothing to do. She is busy failing. Right, let's go to a bad ad.
It's hot! The Romance Connection. A hot way to meet exciting, fun-loving singles like these. Just pick up your phone right now. Call 1-900-909-8080. And you'll hear personal messages from exciting girls and guys looking for fun.
Try it right now and have some fun.
Call 1-900-909-8080. $2 for the first minute, 45 cents additional minutes.
I'm ready to have some fun.
The Romance Connection. It's what's hot.
What do you think that sort of gave way to dating sites or something? You know?
It was like $2 a minute, and that's in 92.
No, 1-900 numbers. I mean, they're expensive.
So you can bet the person calling isn't the bill pack.
Yeah. Do you want to go out together? No, I can't afford it now after this phone call. Right, let's go to some real ads. What just happened?
He's mad as hell. It's Kevin O'Sullivan.
Welcome back to part 2 of What Just Happened. I'm still with newbie, debut boy, Flash Ash Gould. Looking good, isn't he?
Thanks, man, yeah.
And the great Samara Gill. Now, this is the big moment when we choose what we think is the greatest story of the week and 1 or 2 of the best stories of the week. This is how it goes.
3, 2, 1.
Yeah, well, Trump versus Iran, Israel versus Iran. I mean, the war in the Middle East has been very much the story. By the time you watch this, God knows what will be going on. But the drumbeat of war has been the background to this week. And Donald Trump has been approaching this escalating conflict between Israel and Iran in his inimitable fashion. Take it away, Donald.
Have you been answered questions about whether you are moving closer, or you believe the U.S. is moving closer to striking Iranian nuclear facilities. Where's your mindset on that?
I can't say that, right? You don't seriously think I'm going to answer that question? Will you strike the Iranian nuclear component? And what time exactly, sir? Sir, would you strike it? Would you please inform us so we can be there and watch? I mean, you don't know that I'm going to even do it. You don't know. I may do it. I may not do it. I mean, nobody knows what I'm going to do. I can tell you this, that Iran's got a lot of trouble.
He's funny enough. I mean, you can't beat old Donald, can you? But those guys behind him, what have they got on their heads? What's going on?
I don't know. I mean, even he doesn't know what.
I think they were the village people.
Yeah, they look like it, don't they? They're not the Proud Boys.
They're the village people.
He knows that it's his domestic audience who's going to be voting for the Republicans at the next election. A lot of people are going to see that video, and he looks like he's with the workers. That's what it's about.
But, I mean,
they're actually construction men, and you're right.
Yeah.
It's a classic political pose. Look at me with down-to-earth people. But, Donald Trump, what I always admire about him is obviously he comes from a serious world of privilege. Yeah. The guy's been a billionaire since the day he was born. His dad was super rich. He grew up in absolute splendour. But he's really got the common touch. He
identifies with them because in America you don't really have the class. And my view is if you got every American and blended them into one person, you'd get Donald Trump.
Yeah, that's a good...
sort of obnoxious, a bit big.
See, this is why we've got him on the show. He's bringing a whole new...
Yeah, I mean, Israel's doing very well, so he's going, I'll have a bit of that. And then he just comes on and announces, we've got air superiority. And but he's obviously seeing what's going on. And obviously, Israel's got bunker buster bombs, but not the very big mother of all bunker buster bombs, which is what they've got to do to destroy the big Kahuna nuclear missile.
By the time people watch this show, they may have dropped.
Yeah, it might have gone. It's probably gone already.
If you want the details, the Israelis have, but these are huge bombs that come down and they smash through concrete underground. The Israelis have these bombs, but they only go to 30
They've got the medium ones.
They go to 30 feet.
Yeah.
The Americans got bombs that can go to 60 feet. Yeah. They'll have to drop another one, though, because they think the nuclear facilities are like...
There's one big mountain where they're made.
90 to Fordo, it's called, the place they're going to bomb. And by the time you watch this...
It's gone already.
Running news, I hate it, don't you? They may have done it, I don't know. But it's all happening, isn't it?
Men are just obsessed with bombs, aren't they? It's the thing is, but it's true. It's good to get into.
We love a big bomb.
You're so right.
That's
why I know all about it. That's why I know all about it. I've been busy.
Yeah,
look at that bomb. I'm going to read all. What is that about, guys?
It feeds into
You're so right.
No, in a good way. I mean, it feeds into the very thing of, I think America actually does not want to get involved. People forget this new wave of Republicans actually are very into self-preservation, and they want to make sure that America is kept out of all these global conflicts. I think they can provide aid, everything Israel needs, and I think Israel has saved the West.
Well, exactly. They're already in it. They want to kill America. That's what they chant after kill Israel. They say kill America. And the same with the UK and Starmer going, oh, yeah, Donald Trump definitely isn't going to get involved because I had dinner with him the other night and I had extra chicken.
Yeah, the thing is, you're exactly right, Samara. People may have other views, but I think that the West owes Netanyahu and Israel a massive debt of gratitude for having the guts to do what Western leaders should have done years ago. That hellhole, Iran, is the biggest danger to the West, to the world, in the world. It is a very, very dangerous country, ruled over by this sclerotic old living fossil, Ayatollah Khamenei, who's 86 years old. He'd been in power since 1989. He's got these mad mullahs around him, and they're dangerous. They're developing a nuclear bomb. Netanyahu had the resolve and the courage to do what the West didn't. We owe Israel a favour.
Well, I mean, Germany the other day, the Chancellor said, they're doing our dirty work for us. And the sooner that the rest of the West realise it, although it's probably too late with what's happening in the West, because all the Islamists are being kicked out of the Middle East and they're all coming here. So it might be too late. We'll have to move out.
So Donald Trump, though, he's got this kind of ethos. He's against war. He hates war. Yeah. I think he genuinely hates war. But I think, he's sort of trying. I think he sees life like a cowboy movie, bad guys, good guys.
He's like John Wayne a bit, isn't
bad guys, good guys. Yeah. And he's thinking, you know what? Iran are the bad guys. Israel are the good guys here. They're doing the right thing. And just maybe America, the good guy nation of this planet, should get stuck in and help
man's got to
Israel.
do what a man's got to do.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah. That's what it is.
They should help Israel, but should they themselves as a country get involved? That's the question.
But they've got the big
moment.
bombs. Again, back to bombs. We need them to get in.
You know, I mean, as I say, we've got to be a bit careful, rolling news and all that. By the time you wonderful audience watch this, might have already happened.
It's already happened.
You'll have seen the bomb drop and you'll go, what just happened? But seriously,
it's not even a joke anymore.
I mean, you've got to be careful. But I think America should help Israel. I wish Britain would, but Britain's been kicked out of the.
Well, they can already send missiles to Britain, so why? You know, he wants to de-escalate. You de-escalate it by escalating it, and then it's de-escalated.
Well, Keir Starmer and his sidekick, Keir Starmer, the British Prime Minister, that is.
Keir Starmer, fixing the foundations.
Keir Starmer, the worst world leader in the world. He's an absolute idiot. Anyway, him and his dumb and dumber sidekick, David Lammy, the Foreign Secretary, they've been so anti-Israel that Starmer doesn't know anything about what's going on. We have been kicked out of the circle of intelligence, and that is troubling. But here is our dear leader, Brits, the British leader. Luckily, you people watching in Australia and Canada and America and around the world, you're so lucky you don't have to put up with this guy as your leader. Take it away, Keir. When I first saw it, I thought it was a spoof.
It looks like an AI made up there.
Meanwhile,
who does he think he's kidding? Yeah. He's a boring little technocrat.
You've meanwhile got Donald Trump leaving that event early and not giving a toss instead of making a motivational video.
Donald Trump stormed out or just left it because his contempt for G7 knows no bounds. Now, everybody, right? That summit, G7, it was very important. People go, it's very important these world leaders get together. No, it isn't. You tell me, whenever a G7 summit, or it used to be G8 when Russia used to go, has achieved anything at all. This is the hot air summit where they all preen themselves and they act like they're important. This is Keir Starmer's world. This is the only thing he loves about being Prime Minister because he thinks he's bestriding the world stage. Back here in Britain, we know that he is just an A-grade tosspot.
He's out the loop. I mean, he said if Netanyahu comes here, he'll get arrested. I mean, no wonder they're not telling him anything. He's sanctioned 2 foreign ministers from Britain, and he must know that now he wasn't even told about Israel attacking Iran the other day.
I know. Well, that's what I was just saying. We've been kicked out of the circle of intelligence because our government is palpably anti-Israel. I mean, it really is. Some might say it was a socialist government. It's the Labour Party. The Labour Party has a history of anti-Semitism. Some might say that our government is anti-Semitic.
Some might say.
You decide. Please discuss. But certainly they're anti-Israel. So when all this kicked off with Iran and Israel, America knew. There may have been other countries that knew. Donald or Benjamin wouldn't have told the EU, but they certainly didn't tell Starmer either, and they would have done in the past. But going back to the G7. Lovely place, by the way, in Canada. What a stunning place. Must go there sometime. Good golf course, I noticed.
Might be America soon.
Yeah. Well, 51st state, Future 51st state. Anyway, Starmer, was pressing the flesh. You've got to get to know people. And the South Korean leader was there. I think it's quite important that, he makes connections with
presses the flesh.
the country leaders from around the world. So he goes off to meet the leader of South Korea. Watch this.
Sir Keir Starmer had a moment of major confusion at the G7 summit as he shook the interpreter's hand rather than the South Korean president's. The awkward encounter continued on camera as the two leaders couldn't decide where to stand before posing for a photograph at the gathering in Canada. This comes after Keir Starmer had another awkward moment with US President Donald Trump when the pair dropped the newly signed UK-US trade deal.
It's a bit different from that promo video he made, the Top Gun video, isn't it? Yeah, time for a bad ad.
If you want to know when you're going to die, call this number. Let me repeat. If you want to know when you are going to die, call this number. You'll be asked some simple questions. Just answer them by pushing the buttons on your touch-tone phone. Then you'll hear the answer. You may or may not like it. Call now, just $1.95 per minute. How much time is left in your life?
Wow, that's a good laugh, isn't it? Now, maybe they ask you questions like, are you planning to walk across a busy freeway anytime soon? Because if you're planning to do that tomorrow, we can predict you'll die tomorrow. I mean, what's that about?
Just those
Who's
phone
going to pay
calls?
money to find out when you're going to die?
They say it's just for fun, don't you? But that doesn't sound like fun.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean? Oh, when am I going to die? Oh, it's not actually. It's not really true. This is just for fun.
People will pay money for anything. They really
Someone
will.
else's bill.
Right, let's go to another real break. What just happened?
He's mad as hell. It's Kevin O'Sullivan.
Welcome back to part 3 of What Just Happened. Still with new guy. Flash.
All right, man. How's it going, Kev? I'm wearing a tie like you said. Is it going all right? Yeah?
You're going to dress up every time you're on
Every
this.
time,
This
man,
is
don't worry.
Flash Ash Gould. He's not actually known for his sartorial style.
You said it would be funny. I don't know whether that's a good
Well,
thing
it's
or
funny
not,
to us, isn't it?
Like I'm going to a wedding, you said.
Yeah. If you come to
Maybe
my
not.
wedding, could you dress a bit better
will,
than
man.
that? But anyway, this is Flash Ash Gould and also Samara Gill. And this is time for viewers' questions. When you send in your inquiries and Samara reads them out and I answer the questions. So take it away, Samara.
Labour MP Darren Jones claims the majority of small boat migrants are women and children. Do you agree? Do you
Children,
agree with the
babies
lie?
and women, he said. He said this on a programme here in Britain called Question Time. This is a cabinet minister. He's a senior figure in our government. He is the chief secretary to the Treasury. In a debate about our migrant crisis. Now, our migrant crisis basically is a load of small boats coming across the channel, thousands of them. We've had about 2,500 in the last week. They just come over hundreds.
Lovely day for it today.
Hundreds of these boats. Yeah. And nobody stops them. And then when they get here, we go, oh, yeah, welcome. We'll put you in a 4-star hotel. We'll give you 50 quid a week. We'll give you free food, free dentist.
New haircut.
Doctors. Oh, have a nice time. Stay here forever. It's a joke. Now, to say most, that's an understatement. About 86% of all these migrants who come across the channel are young men of military age. In other words, they are economic migrants. They're looking for work, right? Darren Jones, a virtue signalling North London type, he said to the audience, to millions of TV viewers, he said, the majority of these poor migrants are children, babies, and women. So you asked me, do you agree? Well, no, I don't agree, because Darren, a government minister, was lying. He lied to the British people. He later put out some statement saying that he didn't really mean what he said. He put out a lie to cover up his lie. This is the state of politics in this country today, folks. Again, you think you've got problems in whatever country you live in. The country we live in, we have a socialist government that just lies to our face. They stare us in the face and they lie. When we say this country is going to hell in a handcart, they go, no, it's not. It's never been more prosperous, never been more peaceful, and never been a better place to live. Absolute crap. They just lie to our faces. And Darren Jones is a liar.
And they say that, like when they talked about other stuff, you're far right for saying this, the grooming gangs, and now they're going back on that. And soon they'll start saying, they'll say you're not far right, you were. So when this socialist government don't agree with us,
Keir Starmer's like this. If they don't agree with anybody politically, anybody's slightly right of centre, they call them far right extremists. It's just nonsense.
But then there's a report comes out, and they agree with being the far right. It's not far right.
Anyway, sod them. Next question, Samara.
Kent County Council is giving illegal immigrants free TV licences. Do you think they deserve them?
Well, of course they don't, but this is just the tip of the iceberg, tip of the rancid iceberg. Our programme, we do a programme every night on Talk. It's called The Political Asylum, 7 p.m. until 10 p.m. Right here. I absolutely recommend it. But we revealed on our programme 2 months ago that Kent County Council, this same council, it's the South Coast Council, where all the boats come in across. It's where the migrants pitch up. They've also given them £24,000 worth of free driving lessons. We're also hearing stories that some migrants are getting free aviation lessons to become pilots. We spend in this country, we have a thing called the Asylum Seeker Support Scheme, right? So these people come across the channel illegally. They break into our country. We don't know anything about them, but we put them in 4-star hotels, treat them like kings and queens, mostly kings, because there aren't many women. In the past 5 years, we give them treats. We give them outings. Seriously.
Tennis lessons
to
as
the
well.
Zoo.
There was actually
tennis lessons, trampolines, down to the local bowling alley.
They all get iPhones as well when they
iPhones and all this. In the past 5 years, this is what British taxpayers have forked out for. We didn't ask to do this; they just did it behind our backs. The Asylum Seeker Support Scheme has ploughed through. Wait for it, £6.6 billion, about $9-10 billion. It's ridiculous.
A year, that is.
No, it's 5 years.
Yeah, no, it might come across.
That's the last 5 years.
It might come across as very spiteful that we're like,
You have to listen.
no.
No, but the hotels.
No, you have to listen to what I'm saying. I said in the past 5 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the hotels.
When I
about
start a
5
statement
billion on
like
their
that,
own a year.
Yeah,
no. That's a fact. 5 years, £6.6 billion.
The
$9
thing
billion.
is that this country, for international listeners, is in a really bad way at the moment. I mean, we are seriously, austerity era is here. And that's why it hurts so much to hear these figures and why the public is absolutely distraught. I mean, when we reported that Kent County Council thing, it wasn't a reform-led council, and now it is.
Yeah.
So that's interesting.
They've got a very right-wing council now, Reform UK. Sort of further right than Republicans, really. And they've gone in to look at all the waste, and the spending is off the scale. And this is happening all over the country. It's a scandal. It's a real scandal. Next question, Samara.
The future of the Notting Hill Carnival is in doubt after a lack of funding. Should it be banned once and for all? This is in my area.
Well, listen, I don't like banning things. I'm a libertarian. I don't like rules, I believe in as few rules and regulations as possible. Let people get on with it. Let people do what they like, as long as they're not harming others. So I'm reluctant to say it should be banned, but I think I have to say it should be banned. So 2 million people go to this carnival, this festival, every year. And it's been going since 1966. And something like, so far, 25 people have died. You get hundreds of stabbings over the years. Last year, I think 70 police cops were injured. There were 2 deaths, two murders, at least 8 stabbings. So when you have an event that's killing people, you have to say, well, no social event, which is what it is in the end, is worth the death of anybody. So if they can't stop people being murdered and stabbed, which they can't, you have to say ban it. It's in your area, isn't it?
Yeah, I would love it to be banned tomorrow.
Do you move out the area? Because a lot of people do, and they board because people urinate, and even worse in the front porch.
Well, they have sex. They have sex in the street.
Yeah.
And they
defecate in people's gardens and stuff. It's horrific.
Do you stay there during the time?
Yeah, I do. I live just outside the boundary, but I see
you're not exactly central.
Well, but I see all the randoms that come. I mean, it's really unsafe. I hate it.
It is in Kensington. It's 20 miles from Notting Hill, but you can hear it.
Well, with the
but you've seen it on the TV.
Have you seen the dancing they do, which is sort of like a simulated sort of sex thing? And they do it with, I saw them doing it with a policewoman. They're basically sexually assaulting a policewoman on these railings. They turn a blind eye to a lot of crime, and it's got out of hand. And in the evenings, a lot of people get killed.
Well, yeah. If people are getting killed, then you have to say ban it.
It's the advent of gang culture has changed the Notting Hill Carnival.
The police are overwhelmed. Have you been to the?
I've been in London since about 9.
Have you ever killed anyone?
Only about 3 people, but now it's sort of gone.
Well, they got in your way, didn't they?
But you know,
they deserved it.
Even the 90s when I came here, it was going off a bit. But now it's got to another level. I mean, I'm sure in the 60s it was great and it was great fun, but now you get actual gangs steaming in and you know scores being settled.
Look, for the most part, it is fun. You know, it's a celebration of diversity. Very much a sort of black Afro-Caribbean kind of event.
Yeah.
Which is great. And so that for the most part, 2 million people go. It's massive. Goes over 3 days.
Not a celebration of diversity at all. What are you talking? It's disgusting.
It's supposed to be.
The streets have this much
Samara,
rubbish.
What kind of a person do you think I am? You think I'm the kind of go, yeah, it's a really great celebration of diversity. I'm saying what it's supposed to be. Yeah. And for the most part, it is fun. But there are really dark aspects to it, and that's why I think it has to stop. Because I can't support, and I'm sure you agree, you can't support an event that kills people. So ban it. Right, let's go to a real ad. No, not a real ad, a bad ad.
Hey, listen, if you think I got a lot to say on my show, gang, I got some things to tell you that I can't even talk about on television. Now, listen, if you're young kids or old folks, I don't want you to call my new 900 number, all right? Might be a little too tough for you. But the rest of you, I want you to give me a call. Let's talk together. Let's find out how we're getting it stuck to us, all right?
For the uncensored Morton Downey Jr., call his hotline at 1-900-909-8000. If you want, you can even tell him what you think. Call anytime, 24 hours. Parental discretion advised.
Let's go to a break. We'll come back in a minute. What just happened?
He's mad as hell. It's Kevin O'Sullivan.
Welcome back. This is the final section of this edition of What Just Happened. And of course, this is the complaints department where we go through the many thousands of messages that you're very kind enough to send to us.
Sherry has said, Tamara's so pretty and bright. Surely voice moderation lessons will enhance her career immensely. I mean, that's the problem.
So talk about damned by faint praise.
Backhanded compliment.
So you know what, Ash? I said this last week. Somebody tweeted.
Oh, here we
somebody tweeted that Samara's voice should be used as a weapon of war. I think that's what they should do.
It's powerful.
Have you been in touch with Benjamin Netanyahu?
I'd be happy to lend my services
Get on
to
a plane,
Israel.
get above Tehran, start shouting at them.
It's got a good mid-range, isn't it?
Start shouting at them. The mad mullahs will surrender.
The mountain will collapse.
The Ayatollah will be like, whatever you want.
Hey, you're getting rid of your nuclear power. Go on, stop it now.
I surrender.
Oh, Samara, we give up. Right, what you got?
Well, Chuck's managed to dig out quite a few. Yes, James, get rid of Ash. He brings nothing to your show, only butting in and stupid remarks. He's spoiling your show, James.
Well, that's funny, because that's exactly what you brought to this show.
Yeah, exactly.
So everywhere you go.
At least I got a tie on.
Yeah. Hang on. No. It's Samara now. One at a time.
Oh, I see. Right.
Jane says, Kevin, I think that you could get your points across very well if you refrain from calling people names like stupid. It's rude. It polarizes public opinion. I think Kinsey does a decent job. Samara makes some good points. But she doesn't need to shout. We can hear very well.
She's not shouting.
I'm shouting all the time, actually. I've got a very loud voice. Much to my detriment.
Who's that from?
That's from Jane F.
Well, Jane F., you can't beat the power of insults, and that's what I trade in, you know. I don't really have any intelligent arguments, so I just call people names. Talking of which, take it away, Ash.
Can we use curse words? Does he bleep them out?
You go, as long as it's not too bad.
Well, he sent me this. He says, James Whale and that scruffy fat Ash are a disgrace.
That's true. That's true.
It's honest.
I don't think you can argue with that, Samara.
Sandy Jones says, Tamara again.
Tamara?
Why does everyone keep calling me Tamara? Anyway, your dress is gorgeous. I love that colour and design and the one shoulder on you. Kevin should be ashamed of himself, not acknowledging how beautiful you both are. That's probably me and Kinsey from last week. Yeah,
I did, but I took my time.
Yeah, 10 minutes in.
So if you didn't watch last week, because we did a sort of skit on the fact that Meghan couldn't go to that ball in Los Angeles because of the riots. So Samara and Kinsey Schofield, brilliantly, both dressed up in their fabulous ball gowns. It was Kinsey's idea. And brilliant. So we were about 20 minutes into the show. I'd forgotten to acknowledge that. So they're just sitting there in sparkling ball gowns, and the world's worst TV presenter didn't say so. But I did in the end say that you both looked amazing.
When Chuck told you in your ear.
Yes. What did you... Chuck says you both look amazing. Go on, Ash.
Right, OK. This is from Rosetta. Idiot cretin, the daft fool on TalkTV. You do know you and that fool Ash are a laughing stock. You are ill-educated. That must be James. And should be fired, and me, and should be fired for your unprofessionalism and harebrained stupidity. Two elite clowns and embarrassment to humanity. But at least we're elite clowns.
Yeah. Well, I reckon Rosetta's stoned.
Yeah, she's stoned.
Get that, like that. That's why I get the small bucks. Go on, Samara.
Marianne says, Kevin, you're so honest and straightforward. I love it. Watching you always makes me laugh. Thank you. Oh, that's sweet.
Who's that from?
That's from Marianne.
Marianne, thank you very, very much. I am a straightforward kind of a guy. Go on, Ash.
It's very commendable that TalkTV are giving opportunities to the homeless. I hope this Ash fellow uses this to better his situation. Well, yeah, I have. Look, I've got a shirt and tie, a nice jacket, you know. So I'll sleep well tonight under Waterloo Bridge.
Giving opportunities to the homeless.
Yeah, I mean, I'm very good. Thank you
This
for
is
that.
a charity as well as a TV show.
Yeah.
So
he looks after me. You know
which
what I mean?
bridge are you sleeping under tonight?
It's going to be Waterloo.
Waterloo
You know, I'm
Bridge.
used to that one.
Okay. That's a good one, isn't it? Samara, go on.
Secret Soul Survivor says, oh, Kevin, they're cringeworthy bad ads. They make me laugh. Great handwriting analysis over the phone. Thanks for the giggles. I love Samara. And Kinsey, that's from Australian person, Secret Soul Survivor.
Australian person, Secret Soul Survivor. That's one hell of a handle. But nice. Thank you very much. Go on, Ash.
This is another homeless one, but it has an American twist for the American audience. Why does Ash look like a homeless American vet who's hit rock bottom? What does that mean? What does that mean, Kev? Because you lived in America. What does a homeless vet?
Well, it's obviously a Vietnam vet.
Oh, I see. I was thinking about animals.
And they have. It's not an animal doctor.
What's a homeless? Is that an American thing?
He's a trained animal doctor, but unfortunately he hasn't got a home.
I hit rock bottom.
It's a homeless vet.
Yeah.
No, the Vietnam vet. So America has the same problem as us, and it's a great scandal in both countries that the people who serve their country so often do end up on the streets. One thing is different, though. In America, what I love about America is when they see a soldier, they always say, thank you for your service. Yeah. Over here, we don't seem to thank our servicemen at all, and we damn well ought to.
And you get to the front in the line, don't you, as an American service? You don't here.
Americans love their servicemen and they respect their servicemen. Here in Britain, for some reason, not so much. No. And that is a damn shame. Samara.
Benita says, thank you, ladies. You look so lovely. Kevin, I enjoyed your opening monologue as always. Thank you for being honest.
Yeah, I'm getting a lot of this, aren't I? Honest. They really don't know me, do they?
It's too honest.
Go on, Ash.
Recording the show, how many times has Ash been threatened with the sack so far?
In the break, in every single break. We need, and will be again.
Yeah.
In just a few minutes when this show ends.
I'm used to it.
It's as a debut, it leaves a lot to be desired, but we'll work on it. We'll work on it.
No, that's not true.
No, it's been great actually. Well done. And in your time. Go on.
Rose Robinson has said, Kevin, this is my favourite panel. Samara and Kinsey are fab. Love this trio. Well, you're basically like Kinsey. It's much
more very similar, not quite as glamorous.
I was looking over last week. I saw you in your ball gown, Kinsey in your ball gown.
Yeah.
I'm looking over this week, and sometimes I thought, hang on a second, is it last week again? Is it? Exactly the same.
Should have worn my ball gown.
We've gone for the glamour ticket this week.
Yeah.
Actually, he looks damn good, if you ask me.
Oh, thank
and
you,
by the way, I was only joking. I think he's done a great job.
Thanks, brother.
We'll have him back anytime, as in next week. Time for a bad ad.
Let the wisdom of my ancestors predict your future.
Now, for the first time, the ancient secrets of Chinese astrology are available to America.
Our horoscope readings were the first and are more accurate.
Call this number and enter your birth date with your touch-tone phone. Then Madam Wong predicts your future. Will you be successful? Will you find true love? Madam Wong's Chinese astrology has the answer. $1.95 per minute. Under 18 get permission for entertainment only.
Let ancient wisdom guide your life.
Madam Wong predicts your future. After you pay for the call, she'll predict you'll be broke. But she could like hook up with the guy who predicts your death.
Yeah,
So Madam Wong predicts your death. There you go. business idea. One for Meghan. And on that bombshell, that's the end of this show. Brilliant to have Ash on board.
Thanks, man.
Thank you once again to the excellent Samara Gill. I've been amazing, haven't I? All right, average then. Seriously, folks, great show. Thank you very much for watching, and we will be back same time, same place next week. You better be there.